A big problem in my life has been the way I was raised. And you think like, oh, people had bad pasts. You're feeling sorry for yourself. I'm not trying to feel sorry for myself. I'm the way I am, and I'm trying to mitigate it. Um, Back in the day, they tried to force feed. They tried to give me a bunch of pills all the time, and I took them for a few years, and I was like, I got to learn to deal with myself on my own terms. Um, my mother was a monster, right? And you know, a lot of people, even financially compromised people, low income, they had a good parental figure. They had somebody who showed them the value of love and understanding from an interpersonal level, like showed them. I never had that. I had to find that love and understanding myself, and it took a long time. I'm I'm a happy dude and I like to have fun, but generally I don't care about people's feelings. Like I don't. Um and I didn't. I mean, I'm getting better at it now, but really too, I think my mother, she conditioned me to be like that, and in reality it was a huge disservice to me because nobody's getting by out here on their own. Think of the most successful person you own, or not you own, but think of the most successful person that you know. Did they build their car? Did they build their house? Do they produce their own groceries? No, we all need to survive on some sort of level. So I feel like my mother went out of her way to make me antisocial. That way she could try to control me, because that's what she did to my sister. My sister can't have a functional relationship. She's like a brain zombie for my mother. And I can't talk her out of it, and it makes me really sad. I just wish people would take care of their families better. They love their families better. Give them more guidance. I had a discussion with my chick today. She has some older kids, and we were talking about the behaviors of one of her children, and I started pointing stuff out, and she got really upset at me. Like it was like a full blown fight, but like I wasn't trying to be mean. I didn't say anything mean. I was just pointing out like these behaviors indicate this. And it wasn't insulting, it wasn't negative, but I was really trying to help the situation. Um Her youngest kid, he's having a rough time because his big brother is moving on with life. And then our kid, who's the youngest brother, and you're looking at like a 12-year difference, 10, 12-year difference, he doesn't like our kid. I wouldn't say he doesn't like it, but you know how when you're a little kid and you spent like all this time as the baby and then another baby shows up? That's what's going on. And then when I try to explain it to her, she gets mad at me. Man, I feel like a big problem that people have in society today is they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to improve anything. I mean, why is that? Is that because they're super comfortable? What? Like, I feel like the whole purpose of life is to get better at life. You know what I mean? You should always be trying to improve. You should always be trying to make yourself better. It's really important. This life is super temporary. And, like afterlife stuff, I could talk about that all. I am a part of a major American church. And the reason I joined that church is a lot of our ideas about spirituality coincide. I'm a Mormon. Like, I'm a part of the Mormon church. Now, Mormons believe in 3 tiers of heaven, right? And then you have outer darkness. So, you have the top echelon where all the good Mormons go. Then you have the next middle tier. That's where I want to go. According to this church, if just a normal guy is just a good dude, that's where he's going to go. You know what I mean? That's where you're going to go. You can go to good people heaven. And I guess it's not the best heaven. I mean, I don't know. But it's a good heaven. And so when I joined the church at 38, right? When I joined, they're like, how come, like, I don't want to go to the temple, dude. I've heard rumors and stuff. Like, I'm good. I don't want to even get into that. But I love our church. I love what we do. I love what we do for people. Like, I volunteered a lot in this church and helped people and stuff. And when I needed help, this church helped me. Love the church. Love what y'all do with people. I just, I don't, this is going to sound weird and it's going to sound disrespectful to the Mormons, but it is the facts. I don't want my own planet when I'm done. I don't want to be God. I don't want to be God of some small planet. I don't want to micromanage people. I don't want any of that stuff, dude. I don't want any of it, man. I just want to be able to live normal. Like I want room for my son to be able to play. I want food in my belly. And I want to be sheltered. And I'm willing to work for that. That's all I want in life. Back in 1960, I could just work at a gas station and I'd own a house, a vacation house, 2 cars, stay-at-home wife. I drive my car to work. Wife just has a grocery getter. We put our kids through college. If this was 40 years ago, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. It's just so weird, man. Like the people who've been controlling our country, it's just like they don't even they don't care about regular people. They just put the vices to us all day. Like insurance prices, like, oh yeah, insurance prices keep going up, and everybody just accepts it as a fact of life. But like the payouts are going down. They don't want to pay anybody. How does that work? And then how does that work when you're working in a company and you can barely afford to survive in your city, but the CEOs are taking like multi-million-dollar paychecks? Oh, I'm going to come in for this year. I'm going to leave with $50 million. And they don't improve anything. Like, they don't fix nothing. They just show up for a little while, manage some damage control, and become millionaires. Meanwhile, the people who are actually doing the damage control, they can't even afford a house. The average new home buyer right now is 40 years old. 40. New home buyer, average median, 40 years old. What American dream, dude? Where's the American dream? I don't understand it. Can somebody explain it to me? And literally, like, everybody who's doing good, like, it's all pay cuts and backdoor deals and illegal connections and this and that. Like, it's all a scam. Like, voting? I've never voted. Why would you vote? It's a scam. If you vote for the left or the right, you're still voting for the same bird. You're still picking a turkey. Left wing, right wing, it's still a damn turkey. All of the decisions made in this country are done by backdoor deals. It's all backdoor deals, homies hanging out with homies, and like the Bohemian Grove, right? Except that's just one thing. You don't think they have these scheduled 100 times a year all over the world so that certain rich people could go up, work together, and find a way to screw our country out of money? Like, think about it, dude. We've been paying more in taxes than ever in human history, right? But since 1994, we were at $4 trillion of debt. Back when Ross Perot ran, right? $4 trillion. How are our grandkids going to pay it? They shut down Ross Perot, and then they ramped it up by $33 trillion, right? So what I really want to know is, once all these boomers are gone, you know what I mean? And they can't find people to buy their new McMansion that they bought it 2 years ago to die in. And nobody's going to buy it. Like, how is this going to work? How is this going to work in 20 years from now when their grandkids are in office and we can either pay down our boomer tab. The boomers ran the shit out of this tab. We can pay down our grandparents' $37 trillion tab. We can tell them to eat it, right? And if we tell them to eat it, we might have to go to war. How's that going to work out? Because I'll tell you right now, we're not going to pay it. Paying a $37 billion tab is not American. Running it up is American. Come on, y'all know. Running up is American. But paying it is not American. So basically, you're basically forcing your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren into either working like slaves to pay this off or going to war. Why? So you could buy a new McMansion and live on a golf course? You ever notice this? Like, all our gated communities, our golf courses, they look so nice, right? So nice. But our infrastructure is crumbling. We're $37 trillion in debt, but we have more billionaires and millionaires in this country than ever before. So you're going to tell me the government is negative this money, people are positive this money, and then that positive didn't come from the government's negative. You didn't finagle everybody else's money and scam the system to get rich. You didn't, huh? None of you. None of these rich people did that, right? Well, I know when it comes up, I'm not going to want to pay it.